Hello, Internet. Let's get ready for another Talk Who with Dave and Aaron from the Cool Story Show.
Hello, everyone.
This week, we're going to talk about the latest Doctor Who episode titled The Caretaker. Obviously, if you haven't watched this episode yet, spoilers are ahead. Aaron, what did you think of this episode?
I thought some stuff. It was pretty good. I liked it. I really like Danny Pink. He's pretty
Samuel
cool.
Anderson is killing it as Danny Pink.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's a really sensitive little boy, that Danny Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking good. Cool episode. Didn't like the bad guy. Bad guy was kind of boring. What the fuck was it even called?
A Scarlex Blitzer, I think.
Yeah, to me that was pretty boring.
He was
scary.
He was kind of cool.
It wasn't.
But I think the main focus on this episode wasn't necessarily the villain as it was to the...
I'm just saying, every Doctor Who episode has its villain, and this one was just kind of bah.
All right, so general overview of the episode. We have the Doctor and Clara who are running continuously on adventures, and she's trying to
split her time between the Doctor and Danny Pink.
Yeah, and she's obviously having a hard time doing it. As you can see, where she's running into the car covered in water and seaweed from seeing the fish people. When she was in the desert place, she got a tan, and she says she doesn't know how she can do this, but obviously she wants to keep doing it because she loves hanging out with the Doctor, but she also loves hanging out with Daddy Pink.
Well, she loves Danny Pink, like she said in the episode, which was that was
mind-blowing.
That was slightly awkward. That whole scene went from like funny to really intense when they were arguing in the TARDIS.
Yeah,
and Danny was like making fun of the Doctor for being like a commander of soldiers or whatever. That went from like ha ha ha, this is so quirky and funny, to like, oh, this is actually slightly awkward to watch, because it's like the Doctor's so pissed and he's just making it worse, and Clara's stuck in the middle. I felt bad for her. It was I liked the scene. It was just like, it was like 0 to 60 right away.
Yeah, and then kind of backtracking, so the Doctor ends up going undercover into the school as the caretaker.
Yeah, deep cover. He puts a brown coat on,
which was...
He literally just changed his coat.
Pretty humorous.
Pretty funny.
And then you kind of get to see the comedic value between him trying to be the caretaker at the school and her trying to be a teacher, and it clashing with her personal life and her relationship with the Doctor. So what would you say was your favorite part of this episode?
Do you know something I noticed? You remember when when the Doctor, everybody was walking out and Clara walked away, he was whistling? He was whistling, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Internet, but I'm pretty sure he was whistling a Pink Floyd song. I'm pretty sure it was Another Brick in the Wall.
Really?
Which is funny because Pink Floyd and Danny Pink, and I'm pretty sure he was whistling Another Brick in the Wall.
That would be hilarious.
I thought that was pretty funny. My favorite part of the episode... Any part with Clara in it. God, she's just so great to look at.
Continues to be gorgeous.
And hear, and like, she's just... I think she's better this season than she was with Smith.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal for me to say, but her and Capaldi have such wicked chemistry. They just bounce back and forth, and they're snarky and blah, 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 and they're great together, I thought.
Didn't you also say when you were watching it that you thought they were kind of like children
arguing with each other? They were
other?
totally like children arguing with each other, like the oldest, most mature Doctor, who's probably the most immature Doctor of them all, and Clara trying to be the grown-up, but not really being the grown-up because she's actually the young human compared to the Doctor. So they almost level out, but then they just argue about everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. What'd you like?
I really liked when Danny discovers...
what's
been going on.
And you got to think from his point of view. And what I liked is, like, how do you even start to describe that story to somebody to make sense? Like, that's such a huge thing. Clara's whole run with the Doctor himself, the TARDIS, what they do. How do you describe that to someone? Like, that's mind-boggling for just the average dude to get that described to him. Like,
yeah,
good for Danny Pink for taking that all in like a champ, but that probably has something to do with how insanely gorgeous Clara is.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What was cool was we actually had Clara.
Favorite part. Sorry to cut you off, not really sorry. He mentioned River.
He did mention River.
My favorite Doctor Who character of all time, River Song. He mentioned her.
Now, here's a question. Do you think it was him and River, or do you think it was Smith's doctor in real
I don't
life.
know, because he remembered Amy in the first episode. It was probably Smith and him, because he remembers the other doctor what happens. But that made me so happy. That made me pretty happy when he mentioned River. Sorry, what were you saying before?
I was just going to talk about another kind of companion that may be introduced into this series, which I think
The little one.
the little one, Courtney.
Yeah, the little one who saw the inside of the I almost said tartness. The inside of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And she came. I like that when she came with him at the end, and she's in space, and she's like, "I think I'm gonna be ill," and he's like, "Look up there, it's like the blah 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 cluster. There's like over 100 million inhabitants," and she runs away and throws
pukes.
up. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, he's
funny.
like, it's a lot to take in, but if you look over there, and just completely overwhelms her, so she pukes. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, really funny. What was that little girl's name?
Courtney. I don't remember her last name though.
I don't remember it either. She was pretty good though.
Very good. So, do you think there's going to be any implications now with Danny knowing...
Courtney Woods.
Courtney Woods. That
Thanks,
was it.
Wikipedia. Courtney Woods, played by Ellis George. Basically pointless to know that unless she becomes important in the future, but
Which she might.
she might.
Remember, they did say multiple companions this series.
I really hope Pink. I really liked right at the end when Danny does that ridiculous flip thing over the boring monster, and then the doctor shuts the monster down with his Ghostbusters backpack voice thing, whatever that he's got on. I don't know what it was. Do you?
It
made him sound like he was the thing's.
It made him
general.
sound, and it projected an image of.
It just reminded me of
superior.
Ghostbusters with his brown coat and that crazy backpack. That's all I thought was Ghostbusters. And then he says it doesn't matter. The doctor only needs me to be one thing. And he said, "Isn't that right?" And the doctor says, "Yeah,
That's good
to
enough.
be good enough for Clara." That was nice. That was a good little. I like that.
I thought so too.
It was good because Capaldi he's protective of her.
Well, they both love her
take
in different
character.
ways. Capaldi doesn't love her in a romantic sense, maybe more of like a daughter per se, but Pink loves her as a girlfriend or
Maybe
wife.
Capaldi, maybe when the doctor was Matt Smith, he had a thing for Clara, which is not so far fetched at all.
I think he probably did at one
He
point.
probably did, and then all of a sudden he regenerated and he's some old dude, and it totally like wrecks his game. So then what is he supposed to do?
Well, not only wrecks his game, but it changes the personality of the doctor. Like now he's older, he looks older, so he
But
can't.
that might have not changed the fact that he still has a thing for her. But now he's like an old guy that she looks at totally different. So
But he also says in the first
just
episode,
remember at the end of that last episode that we saw, he's like, what the hell does he say? Something he's like, save a whole race, like beat that for a first date.
date. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Yeah. The more I watch Capaldi, the more I like him. Although that's the doctor thing that happens with every doctor. But every episode that I see him in, I like him a bit more.
One thing I was reading on Reddit, which I thought was interesting, is they said that every doctor has a different saying. Ninth was fantastic.
That was Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, 10th was Alonzi.
Alonzi. And then
Tennant.
Smith
Was
Geronimo.
And then somebody said that this current doctor, Peter Capaldi, is a shut up.
See, before we talked about, I thought it might be Puddinghead, or I hoped it would be Puddinghead, because Puddinghead was so fucking funny. But yeah, he's just shut up endlessly.
Yeah.
Shut him up, shut him down, whatever, I don't care.
And when he came to pull them both away for when the Blitzer came back, he was literally shouting at Pink like, "Shut up, just shut up."
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear him talk. So I think that's going to be his saying, which is kind of cool.
That is kind of funny that it's going to be shut up, which is
Instead of something cool like
just slightly
fantastic and LLZ. And
okay. Now we've had a couple episodes that this didn't happen in, but the cop at the start of the episode, something happens to him. You don't think about him for the whole episode, and then all of a sudden he's in fucking heaven. It's
Paradise,
back.
whatever you call
whatever
it.
the hell it's called, and he's talking to some dude
Yeah, which is interesting because
in a hallway. He's not in a garden this
We've
time.
only seen Missy. We've never seen.
But Missy was there.
But
She
Missy
looked
was there.
pissed when she walked out of her little room in the white hallway and walked away and looked like a bitch. And then the last thing the guy says is like, "She's been very busy lately. Do you have any questions?" And my first thought was like, I fucking have questions. What the fuck? What is this?
Yeah. So interesting is that now we've seen another person who's in paradise or in heaven.
So what is heaven? Heaven
So
might
what is
not be
heaven?
heaven. Heaven, maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't think Missy's, I don't know.
I can't tell you with Missy. I don't know if she's good or she's bad. I really don't. She hasn't done enough to sway me either way. to decide what's going on.
The thing about it is now we've had the android go, we've had the soldier go,
Yeah.
and now we've had a cop go. Now the cop never met or saw the doctor ever.
But maybe that's why he didn't meet with Missy, is because he didn't have any direct connection with the doctor. Yeah, because the soldier and the robot
those
did.
two saw Missy, but people who don't talk to the doctor. It still throws me off though that the sheriff from the Robin Hood episode didn't go. That still throws me off completely.
He might have. We don't know if he didn't.
That'd be weird if they didn't show it.
But
though.
everybody,
that would be like a big plot hole.
Everybody
if they
who's
showed
gone
that.
to heaven has been in some way a good guy, except for the robot.
So not really then.
Yeah, I guess. So the sheriff might have gone. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for something. The doctor hasn't really. Capaldi so far hasn't done anything. I don't know. He hasn't done anything like really badass yet. I guess is the easiest way to say it. He's been. I don't know. I wouldn't call him dark. He's been. Oh, actually, I would call him darker, but in like a funny.
He's
way.
darker, but you haven't really seen him do anything.
He's sarcastic,
Yeah.
and he's. I don't know. He makes a lot of little quips and stuff, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's mean or anything.
No.
He's actually pretty funny. He's actually hilarious. I'm waiting for him to do something like really cool and badass though. Like when Tennant I don't know, Tennant at the end of that Waters of Mars episode when he like went all fucking crazy and he's like, the time will obey me, and
I am Time Lord Victorious.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a survivor, I'm a winner. That was cool. And like Matt Smith had a couple, like when he dragged that android out of the town.
Yeah, but that's also what happens when the doctor's on his own. We've never seen this current doctor go away and be by himself for a while. He's always had a companion.
True. Yeah, that's pretty true. Actually, speaking of that, I just actually watched the end of David Tennant again like 2 days ago just for fun.
Congrats on finishing.
Holy shit, was that sad?
It was, man.
It actually made me. It actually I was on like the edge of my seat, and as he was saying goodbye to each individual person, I was like, oh. And when he went back to say goodbye to Rose,
Yep.
but before she met the doctor, because he couldn't say goodbye to Rose because the other doctor was with her in the pocket universe thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, was that sad? Oh, I think that was actually more I think that was more sad than Smith's regeneration.
Smith's was pretty sad, but I actually shed a few tears over Tennant.
Do you know what though? I'm one of those people. I don't give a fuck if you care about this internet, but I watched Matt Smith before David Tennant and Eccleston. I watched all of Matt Smith, and then I went back and I finished everything else because it was so great. So maybe why the end of Tennant's was so sad is because I knew it was like the end, and then now I just have Capaldi. I don't know. It was pretty sad though. It was more sad than Matt's, I think. Eccleston's wasn't sad at all.
No.
That was just kind of like whatever.
Well, you only got one season of them, so.
Also, he was the only doctor to have one season.
Yep.
I saw this cool thing on Reddit. It was like Tennant had the most companions, and Eccleston was the shortest lived doctor. The first doctor, like he fought the Daleks the most. The second doctor fought the Cybermen the most. I think I'm probably wrong about this, but there was like the 6th or 7th. He only had like a made-for-TV movie, and he was the first doctor to kiss a companion and shit like that. It was interesting. It was like a little chart somebody made on Reddit. It was pretty cool.
I want to go back and watch older Who.
You think you could do? You know what else I realized? Tom Baker. I don't know what number doctor he was, but his outfit looks just like Capaldi's. It's all black, and he's got like a cloaky cape thing on with like a red thing on the inside.
Well, remember, like you said in last episode, tried to go simple.
He said, I tried to go minimalist and I came out magician.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, that he looks just like Tom Baker. Or, like, he looks a lot like how the Tom Baker doctor dressed.
Well, every doctor usually uses an influence. Like, Matt went after Stephen, or I don't know his first name, but Troughton.
I don't know.
As his doctor.
I don't know anything about the old doctors, really.
But that's why I want to go back and watch this so that I know what's going on.
I think they'd be impossible to... I just don't even think I could get into them.
I guess we'll have to try it.
Really, like, the first Doctor Who's in black and white.
But as a fan, I feel like you owe it to
The
yourself
Doctor
to
Who
watch it.
elitists are gonna hate me for this. I don't think I can get into it. I would try, but that's a lot. Like the first Doctor had like
It's a ridiculous amount of episodes.
maybe
on
I'm
that.
wrong. It's like he was the longest running Doctor, I think. Like he never regenerated. He was there forever. And then the second Doctor played like a flute. What's up with that? That's maybe a little too weird.
Link played a flute.
He played an ocarina.
That's
Get it
true.
right, Dave. God damn it.
So let's move the conversation back towards this episode. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
Well, if we're moving things now, for the most part, I did like it. There's there's nothing huge. Like I said, the monster was boring.
I didn't like that stupid acrobatic jump Denny pinked it over the
No,
monster.
that's that crazy woo flip thing. What the hell was that?
That's the only part of the episode
I guess they
didn't like.
teach like crazy flips in the army now.
Yeah, but yet he's not a PE teacher.
He's not a PE teacher.
That was also another funny thing is how the Doctor cannot wrap his head around that.
That he's not a PE teacher.
He's
and
a
he
math
teaches
teacher?
math.
Yeah.
Or maths, as they say. But yeah. Stephen Moffat wrote this with Gareth Roberts. Good job. I said this before, I think. I like the episodes that aren't based on like big special effects and crazy kinds of wacky stuff happening. I like the more simpler, like character driven episodes of Doctor Who, like Listen, and this one I thought was just more of a simple, grounded kind of level. Like really your whole thing happened in a school. There was no special effects other than like there was like this lame villain, and then there was like the vortex. That was it, basically. And they were in space like once or twice or something like that. But I like the simpler kind of episodes that aren't crazy special effect driven, and they're just about the characters driving together.
Yeah. I don't know what, like, next episode they show kind of spider creatures on the moon.
Yeah, that looked interesting.
What's
up with that suit? That suit is back again.
It's back again.
Like the Doctor never wears anything else. I think the first Doctor to ever wear that was Tennant.
Actually, I did look into this after our podcast where we talked about it. It was Tennant.
In the Devil's Pit or whatever.
Yeah, and then they've carried that suit on
and he
ever
wore
since.
it again in that one where he was at Mars
And
near the
then
end of Tennant, and then
Smith wore it
a couple times,
Yeah.
and now Capaldi's worn it. He wore it in Listen, and now he's going to wear it again in this next one.
Yeah. I think it's just cool that they have this random spacesuit on board the TARDIS that they take with
It's
them.
an orange suit with a yellow helmet, and they just take it with them everywhere. It's pretty funny.
All right, well, I think this probably wraps up another episode of Talk Who. We would love to hear your comments. Please let us know whatever you think.
Hey, and by the way, everybody out there in internet land, we're on fucking iTunes now.
Yeah, we are.
Go check out our podcast, The Robot Apocalypse, where me, Dave, our other two compadres, Andy Spiteri and Alex Gurnett, talk about the possibilities of the robot uprising. Part 2 just came out today. Part 1 came out last week. Go subscribe, listen. It's really interesting. It's really good. There's no way you can't like it. Also, we still got some cool stuff coming out on our YouTube channel. We got Up All Nights. If you've heard those, you know what they're all about.
If you haven't,
if you
listen
haven't,
at your own
you
leisure.
need to listen, but listen at your own discretion. As always, stay tuned in with us for Talk Who, where you can listen to us two nerds talk about Doctor Who. A brand new Let's Talk that me and Dave and our friend Andy just started is Let's Talk Gotham, the brand new show Gotham. Episode 1 already done. Episode 2 coming at you shortly. So listen, enjoy. If you think we suck, tell us. If you think you're awesome, tell us. We want to know. We want the feedback. Let us know what you think.
We're your Time Lords, Aaron and Dave, and you can find us on the tweets. Me at DaveMeyer7.
Aaron in the blue box, gazing at Clara at 8 Corbett 48.
Let's Talk Who next week. Good night.
Goodbye, everybody.